Hey guys, how's it going? Before we start today's video, I would just like to tell you about our sponsor, CastlemaniaGames.com. If you watch other YouTubers that do stuff with video games, I'm sure you've probably seen that Castlemania Games sponsors those YouTubers, and I'm really happy to have their support. And if you haven't heard of them, Castlemania Games has all kinds of video game stuff. They have stuff for the old systems, including games for the old systems. Some new games that have been created and put into real cartridges and stuff. You can buy those there. And they also have equipment for some of the newer systems. Check out CastlemaniaGames.com and insert promo code PSP1010 to get 25% off your order, and tell them Timothy Tim PSP sent you. All right, let's get started with today's video.
Rated F for fucking awesome.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Timothy Tim PSP. And I know if you saw the thumbnail to this video, you think, Tim, another fucking Batman PSP? Yes, I have done several in the past, and I'm happy to do it. Batman is one of my favorite superheroes. He's extremely badass. He is a ladies' man. He's an expert at martial arts, and just looks really cool. And I've always been a fan of Batman. But this video is here today, well, for two reasons. You're going to see in a minute the D Pad mod. That's something I've never done before, so thought that would be fun to show you. And the other reason is that this was a custom order, and how that works is a customer reaches out to me and talks about a theme that they would like, and we kind of kick around ideas. The customer puts down a $20 deposit, and then I move forward, and when I'm finished, the customer pays for the rest of the PSP. Well, unfortunately, the guy who wanted this PSP had some issues come up and is unable to pay for it. And I asked him, hey, if I give you some more time, which I'm always happy to do, is that going to work out for you? Maybe I give you a couple of weeks or even a month. And he just said he just didn't think he was going to be able to do it. And so here we are. This PSP, I told him, well, you might have another chance to get it. This PSP is going up today. The day this video is uploaded, Sunday, I don't remember the date. It's going up today, and I'm going to put it online for $50 as a starting bid. And the auction's going to be a week. I do this a lot with a lot of my other PSPs. And maybe it'll go for less. And maybe he'll still get a chance to get it. I don't know what he's willing to spend, if any. Or maybe one of you guys is going to be able to get it. So this is the PSP, that same PSP. If you came here from the eBay auction, this is it. This is the same PSP. This case started out as a silver aluminum case that I painted black. I feel like it came out pretty good. There's a little bit of overspray and stuff, and I sanded it. I almost feel like this thing has some battle damage, almost like Batman would have carried around himself, obviously having something even more Batman-like inside rather than a cool Batman PSP, because if you're Batman and you're carrying around a Batman PSP, that's a little weird, bro. So, I mean, come on. All right. So, I'll do a before picture. And then, of course, you see the after right here of the case. And so let's get right into the PSP. I had to start this video over because I was not happy with the lighting. So let's bring it in for a close look. I feel like that looks pretty good. Let me see. What if I turn this down? Yeah, that's good. Okay. So getting a look at the PSP, we see the D pad on the front. We'll go into a little bit more detail on that. We also have a satin finish, trying to catch that on the light. There you go. You can see it here. A satin finish on the entire PSP. The buttons down here are glossy. I decided to go with that because it's such a small surface area. I didn't know how the finish was going to take. And then for the function buttons here, that was actually just a very fine grit sandpaper on there. And it gives it a satin finish as well that matches that gray D-pad. All right, let's take a look at the back. Boom. Gotham City skyline. Bat signal on the UMD ring. And we see that satin finish carry out throughout the back. This has got, I think I went with 3 or 4 coats of satin polyurethane. And then the Batman symbol is already a matte finish on that. So that's just laying on top. And I think everything looks really good. I went with a black UMD ring. That's a custom black ring that I made because the standard, I do have black PSP rings. The standard one just didn't look right. It jumped out too much and made the back look too busy. So I came up with this idea and really thought it sounded cool. So I did a mock-up in Photoshop and on a PSP, like a template, and I just really fell in love with it. And I don't know, you be the judge. You tell me, is this the best Batman PSP I've done? I'm always trying to step my game up. So hopefully this one is better than the ones that I've done in the past, only because, well, I'm trying to do better. So also, since this PSP is going on eBay today, I'm not going to make this video terribly long, so I don't have to spend a lot of time editing it, and I'm able to get it in today because, you know, putting auctions up on the weekends is always better. So D-pad. I went with a standard NES D-pad. Now this isn't an NES style D-pad. This is actually a D-pad that came out of an original Nintendo Entertainment System controller that was broken. Water damage, was rotted out. And so what I did to make it fit was I sanded down the plastic on the D-pad and cut the necessary notches to make it fit. And you're still using the PSP's like activated membrane. If you've ever taken a PSP apart, you know what I'm talking about. And then I added a custom ball so that we could still have that rocking back and forth in the pivot point. I think it's cool. Personally, I am Timothy Tim PSP. I like the D-pad on the PSP, but this isn't bad. I wouldn't say it's worse. It's definitely more fun when you're playing NES games or Super Nintendo games. It feels very intuitive, and I really like it for those games. For other games, I don't feel like it makes much of a difference. So maybe it is a win. If you grew up playing those old school systems, then having a real style D-pad There's something to be said for that. So I love the original PSP's D Pad, so I don't have any problems with it. But this is a nice change, and I'm glad that I'm making the video to show to you. Oh, one other thing I forgot to talk about is just the Batman symbol on the analog stick, which is very nice. I felt like that was a nice addition. That also has its little touch of satin clear coat, so that as you mess with it, it doesn't slowly erode and come off. So I did 1 or 2 coats on that, and then several coats on the D-pad as well, and it feels real nice and smooth, and I like it. Okay, so excuse me. Just to quickly go through the games list. If you haven't seen one of my PSPs before, you get everything for all these old school systems, and we are just going to run through these very quickly. So you can see Famicom. I've also created custom menus for things that I thought were fun, like Nintendo World Championships. We've got the Game Boy system, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. We've got Nintendo 64, which doesn't run all that great. You guys know that. But it's fun to mess with, so you don't have too many games on there. But most of these systems are full sets. We've got the Game Gear, and Sega CD is on here. We've also got the TurboGrafx 16 and the Atari systems. The Atari Lynx is on there, and the Intellivision. ColecoVision is there. We've got Commodore stuff, Vectrex, Magnavox Odyssey, and some MAME arcade stuff, as well as what else we got on here? Oh, we've got Midway Arcade and the Capcom systems, and then also a tribute to the Angry Video Game Nerd. Hope you're keeping up, because I know I'm going through these quickly. But let's get this PSP online and ready to go. Old school hacks. This folder is the same as you've seen in my other PSP videos. I also have the brightness hack on this PSP to make it bright. And it also has the memory card speed up hack, which is going to help with loading times and gameplay, especially when you're playing PS1 stuff. So, hacks are just new versions of games. People have taken the code from those old games like Super Mario Brothers and changed the game around to create a new experience, and they're really fun. So if you want to see some gameplay, check out just some Mario Brothers ROM hacks is what they're called, or retro ROM hacks, and you'll see a bunch of cool stuff that you'll find on this PSP. Folder 1, just for PlayStation 1, just like I did with the Spider-Man PSP, is a heavy focus on fighting games. So we've got Street Fighter. Working with the brightness here. It's getting washed out. I'm going to have to mess with my camera settings. So we've got all the Street Fighter games. On here. Just kind of go through those. Marvel vs. Capcom, Darkstalkers 3 and Darkstalkers. I don't have 2 on here. I had trouble getting the game to work properly on the PSP. Most, if not all, these games have been tested, and this is the same stuff that I offer up to everybody else. So many games. So we've got your PS1 games and your old school stuff. We also have, oh look, Super Puzzle Fighter Turbo. So that would be fun to put on there. Masters of Terraskasi and Marvel vs. Street Fighter. Obviously there's more Marvel games on here, but PSP just did more with Marvel stuff. And there's nothing we can do about that. So here's the second folder. Twisted Metal. So it's just kind of giving you an idea of what's on here. Feel free to pause the video if I'm moving too fast for you through a lot of Star Wars games on here. We've got Spyro, Crash Bandicoots on here as well as the Rayman series. Parappa the Rapper, which goes on every single one of my PSPs because it should be on there. Oddworld. Tomb Raider. I feel like that Tomb Raider almost kind of goes with the idea of a Batman PSP. South Park's on there because it's cool. Silent Hill, gotta have it. Robotron X. More Spyro. Oh, Resident Evil is on here as well. We've got the director's cuts of the games. These are multi-disc games, and the disc swap is built into the menu. You'll find that really easy in all these games. Multi-disc games are really easy to swap from disc to disc. Never had a problem. And I have tested them out because, you know, you've got to test something like that out. You just can't put it there and expect it to work because, you know, computers and stuff just doesn't work that way. All right, going through the games list. Dead or Alive. Crash Bandicoot, as promised. Even threw some RPGs on here. I think, oh, there's Batman. 007. A lot of games on here. This PSP is full. Alone in the Dark. We've just got a little bit of space left, as you can see there, and that is just for save files. If you decide in the future you want to swap the games out, I suggest that you take some stuff off. Oh, so here we are down into PSP games. Daxter. We've got both of the Crazy Taxis on there because those are great. We've got Crash Bandicoot for the PSP. We've got Burnout. The list just keeps going. We've got 2, 3, 4 PSP games folders. Medieval. Batman, Lego Batman is there. We've got Grand Theft Auto, GTA games, Gran Turismo, God of War. We've got Ghostbusters. Everybody knows I like to put that on there. And scrolling down. Just taking you through everything. Sonic Rivals. Sat here and played on this PSP for a while just to get a feel for the D Pad. And I have to say, I like it. It's very responsive and it's fun to check out. More PSP games here. As we fly through, remember, like I said, go ahead and pause the video if you want a second look at some of this stuff. Pac-Man Championship Edition. If you've watched my videos before, you know I love this game. So hop on there and try to beat my high score because I test out all my PSPs playing some Pac-Man for a little while. I just never get tired of that game. Street Fighter Alpha 3. Spider-Man's on there. Ghosts and Goblins, the UFC game. Tony Hawk's Project 8. Woo! I think that's it. That's all the games. That's everything. I got it done. We're taking... Well, it's not lemons because this PSP isn't a lemon. But we're going to make lemonade out of a bad situation. That's not a phrase. But I'm saying it anyways. as if it were a phrase. Thanks for coming and checking out the video. You know what my girlfriend said to me today? She said, you're going to make a video. You're going to edit that video. You're going to upload it. And you're going to do a eBay auction all in one day. Also, I changed that wallpaper. I didn't like it the more I looked at it. So also make a new wallpaper and get this up on eBay and all in one day. She says, it's not going to happen. You're not going to do it. Well, guess what? I am going to do it. Hopefully I do it. I am obviously yet to finish that because I'm still talking to you in this video. Guys, thanks for checking out this video. If you came from the auction, if you bid, thanks for bidding. If you just wanted to see what I do, please feel free to watch any more of my other videos. I've made a lot of other videos for PSPs, a lot of custom PSPs, and more to come. I'm not stopping anytime soon. If you have questions for me about the auction, please contact me on eBay per eBay guidelines. All that stuff should be discussed on eBay, so that's what I request. But if the auction's over, or maybe Batman's not your thing, you want something else, you want to see what else I'm working on, check me out on Facebook. I've got the Facebook page, Timothy Tim PSP on Facebook, or you can shoot me an email if that's what you would like. TimothyTimPC@yahoo.com. Thanks for checking out the quick video. I hope you like the PSP. I think it's pretty badass, but tell me what you think down in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching. Game on!
Game on!
Yeah, game on!